For this last one, I actually wanted to watch a short one. And that was kind of hard to find, because half of these are between 81 and 97 minutes, which is basically more than an hour and a half. And the shortest one that I could find was one that was 81 minutes, and that was 2014's Northpole. Also, Rotten Tomatoes hates almost all Hallmark movies, which I find funny because they'll plug movies that are feminist in every sort of the way, but not Hallmark movies that have generic plots.
And get this. This is actually the first Hallmark movie that I've ever seen that deals with magic and Christmas shit. Like, this is a big deal for me. Because half of it's just like, the two people get together, so Christmas, they don't have to be alone on Christmas. No, now it's like, there's magic and shit, and it's not dealing with, like, all the time, like, some mom-dad stuff, or, two people just falling in love. No, it's like, got a kid and magic and elves and magic. I'm quite excited.
Flying down to the North Pole, where this place down in the North Pole is actually shaped like a snowflake. Clementine, one of Santa's elves, stands on the top of the cliff looking through a telescope as Santa comes to see what's wrong, as Clementine tells Santa it's bad. Then the northern lights begin blinking. I'm guessing that's not normal.
I'm afraid Christmas is in serious trouble.
This is what everyone said about this Christmas until everyone said fucking decided to go to everyone's houses, giving everyone COVID. Don't tell me that's not going to happen. It's going to happen.
After our title card, we meet Kevin, who had just moved into his new house and is now going to a new school because Mom from Saved by the Bell has a new job.
No. Actually? Nah. No.
Kevin is dropped off at school and we meet Mr. Wilson.
Top of the morning, Kev.
Ah, yes, Jacksepticeye's calmer younger brother. And he's not Irish, he's just quirky like that.
So Kevin's mom, Chelsea, is on the hunt for a scoop in why the Greenwood tree lighting ceremony isn't being up this year. And what she could get from one of the peoples from City Hall is that it's from the Planning Commission. Yeah, enough of that. Let's have Chelsea just go right into the school her son's at and just watch Mr. Wilson in his class.
Wait, that's illegal.
Tell me it went better today.
Today it was better.
Really?
No.
Kevin hears about the tree lighting ceremony being canceled as he thinks back to where he used to live and how the tree lighting ceremony was everything to the town.
Just saying, in my hometown, if anyone finds out that tradition is canceled, there will be an uprising, and you will not hear the end of it.
Back at the North Pole,
Clementine.
in some sort of frozen forest as her mom finds her, she wants to help up around the North Pole, but a shining ornament that is supposed to be for a kid who's shining for Christmas appears more brighter than normal. And the shining ornament is belonging to, guess who? Kevin receives the gift and upon opening it, pulls out a way for Clementine and him to communicate. The two talk about their problems and...
This is obviously a weird case of stranger danger. That's very weird. How does Clementine again?
Chelsea is at the library looking more into the town as Mr. Wilson happens to be there and helps her out. Yeah, you can't tell me that these two have a little romantic feud blooming. Chelsea also tells Mr. Wilson that Kevin hasn't been taking the moving thing well, as he hasn't made any friends and is now talking about an elf, which that last part is true. So Clementine goes down to where the reindeer are being held and goes to get one named Randy. She takes the reindeer as we jumped over to Kevin, who was supposed to be having his Christmas committee.
Nice Christmas committee.
Thanks, it was actually going to be called, we're going to get your mom a new pair of stockings because all the boys around town keep messing hers up, but we didn't want to upset you.
Clementine calls out Kevin as the two talk once more, only for Clementine to bring up that the North Pole is kind of messing up thanks to the northern lights. Kevin doesn't understand, so the best way for him to understand is to show him and abduct him and take him to see what's really going on.
Yeah, those northern lights always seem to be causing everyone trouble.
Now jump in and buckle up, because we gotta fly. Fly?
Oh, do you know a faster way to North Pole?
Oh, by plane it'll probably be like 2 hours and 50 minutes. Oh, you meant the North Pole. Oh, that'll be 20 days. Guessing winter break will be over by then.
They arrive at the North Pole and Kevin changes to look more like an elf since humans aren't allowed up there, and Clementine tells Kevin about the northern lights. From what she describes it, the northern lights are powered by children's childlike wonder for Christmas. The less they produce, the less magic snow is made. If there's not enough of that, then the northern lights go out, and that means no toys from Santa. Are you sure it's not if the carometer gets lower, then bad stuff will happen, the Carolot? Kevin doesn't know if he wants to help or not, though, because he just got here and still doesn't understand. But trouble comes when Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus come and Santa figures out that it's Kevin. Oops. It also is very underplayed that a human is in the North Pole and that the two are going to help save the North Pole. Santa gives Kevin a snowflake so that way he knows where he's at all times, since Kevin has been worried that Santa won't be able to find him since they moved.
Oh great, more gadgets for them to keep watch of Kevin. Stalking is their best quality, I guess. What the fuck can I say? It's Santa Claus.
Kevin says he's in and is taken back home to where he begins telling his mom that he went to the North Pole and made a new friend. She tuned out after she heard that his new best friend was an elf. The mom heads to the mayor's office and figures out that the reason why the tree lighting isn't happening is because they're planning to build a Pendleton Tower. Chelsea basically calls the mayor out, asking him how he feels about canceling an old tradition, and the mayor says it's an eyesore for everyone and that no one goes to it anymore. He says that stuff needs to be redone, but that no one goes there. Chelsea asks why the planning committee got involved, and the mayor's like, how'd you know that? And she's like, I'm not telling. And the mayor's like, then we're done here. Kevin tells Mr. Wilson his plan to save the North Pole for his Christmas project, and Mr. Wilson is like, don't you just want to know how Santa enters your house like the rest, or have you seen the Santa Claus starring Tim Allen too much? Instead, Kevin wants to bring the tree lighting back to help the North Pole and also bring some joy to the town.
Considering my county decided to make the circle a convoluted mess and the tree decorating the tree lights aren't for another, until up in Indianapolis, I'm gonna say I've never been, and also I could give 2 7 layers of fuck.
So Chelsea goes down to where the tree lighting is being held and finds it's started construction and tape. An old man come over and is like,
Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
We cut to Kevin at home where his mom has to leave and is being babysat. The lady tells him she's gonna watch some of her soaps and Clementine arrives. Kevin tells her his plan to save the tree lighting and she's in. The two try and get the word out but get yelled at by a business owner, and Clementine tries using a snowball that in her world would make people happy, but here, nope. Kevin is dragged back home after Miss Tucker snitched. For some reason, Chelsea isn't mad at her son who just went to town and was almost arrested for assault. Well, he didn't, but that's probably not the case for most. The two decide to pick out a tree, and guess who's there? While looking for a tree, Clementine finds Kevin and freaks out because she lost her hat that hides her ears.
2 things to do to fix this. 1, you can either bring a blanket and do that, a hood, or some earmuffs. It's not that difficult, people. And more hats, I guess.
So Mr. Wilson helps them get the tree inside the house and is offered hot chocolate. Kevin goes upstairs where Clementine is talking to her mother, who says that things are not going well at the North Pole. Kevin says it's time to kick things up tomorrow, and we see Chelsea and Mr. Wilson talking. Oh, cool, next scene. Chelsea goes over to Pendleton and tries to ask more questions about what the plans for the area are, as the head office calls asking her to go over to Greenwood Park because of a protest.
So what we have gathered from all these people around here and from the firefighters is that it's just one lone protester up in this tree. Guess who the protester is?
Hey, Mom!
Also, who called the fire department? It's not like the kids haven't climbed the tree before, so why the firefighters? Yeah, and Clementine ditched Kevin. What a great friend. Oh, and Mr. Wilson comes over to check up on Kevin. Why? So Chelsea tells Mr. Wilson that the condos are going to be built in a month, and that Kevin is most likely grounded for the rest of his life, and that they're going to go someplace warm, away from the town and the assignment. Thanks for telling the teacher this. Good job. Kevin comes down saying he's not leaving, and Mr. Wilson calls her a Scrooge because it sounds like she's trying to make him grow up. How old is Kevin again? Kevin tells Clementine what's happening, she has an idea. The two decide to leave out the window, and the mom comes in a little too late to see her son is gone and the window is open. So the plan that Clementine has is that she wants to know why Mr. Pendleton is a Scrooge. So they go to where Santa's archives are and see why he is the way that he is.
So Drake and Josh Christmas special, which Bailey Madison was also in.
So they find Pendleton's name and find that he never asked for himself, but for a friend of his, Penny, who had no money really and had a sick mother.
So that doesn't make him a bad guy. Which also brings me to the question of if Penny ever got her skates, or is just Santa never answered it, and if he actually never did, that he became a Scrooge and oof.
Kevin returns home and shows his mom the note that Mr. Pendleton wrote. The mom is obviously pissed and confused, but no time for that. Clementine meets Shalissa and Mr. Wilson. So everyone makes a plan to help save the tree lighting, as the kids are to get the word out and the two adults do the rest, because news reporter things and teacher. So just asking for donations isn't helping, so they decide to try and go door to door and try to get people to remember the glory days of the tree lighting. A snowball fight happens to show us that Shalissa actually does like Mr. Wilson.
Bet you didn't see that one coming, huh?
Chelsea goes over to the choir group where one of the people from the planning committee is there. She says that Pendleton is offering to buy Greenwood Park.
So pretty much, they were offered to buy it, which means big bucks, which means an elf, a kid, a teacher, and a reporter are gonna stop it. Makes sense to me.
The report about Mr. Pendleton is made, and back at home, apparently someone donated
$1 billion!
It's not said how much, but for my calculations here, it'll be $2,348.83. But I'm only guessing here.
So while looking on her phone, Clementine comes along and gives her a cookie, and Chelsea asks if she actually believes in the North Pole stuff.
You know, sometimes it's harder for people to believe in things they've never seen than it is for others.
Basically, she's calling you a non-believer, you sinner.
Clementine,
Yeah,
how old are you?
13 decades. I'm kidding. I'll get you another cookie.
Remember when I was joking about being a groomer? I think my statement from before still holds up. Ooh.
Chelsea and Mr. Wilson talk for a bit as Chelsea realizes something after seeing her report being on the paper. That Penny is short for Penelope, and that Mr. Pendleton maybe wasn't such a bad guy after all, and she goes to do some more investigating.
Look, I'm the last person you want to talk to, but if you wouldn't mind answering a couple more questions for me?
Mr. Pendleton talks about Penny and how she was the light of his world until 6 months ago when she passed. The two were very close, and he didn't want to build up on the place that he had fond memories of her. He didn't want to buy the place because he wanted to demolish and put condos there, but he wanted to fix it up so he could still have the memory from what he and Penelope had.
We fucked up. We fucked up.
Also, the reason why it was a secret was just because he wanted to. No plaques, no big signs, just doing it because. And guess who fucked it all up? Mom!
What if, Chelsea actually did foil his plans? Think about it. This huge story comes out, the reporter, Chelsea, goes over there, he gives her this sad sob story about, oh, my wife died 6 months ago, she was the love of my life, oh, you found this stuff. So, of course, not being able to see if I'm telling the truth or not, she kind of had to believe him, so she let do with whatever he's doing, give him some good press, and then he demolishes the whole place. See how well that could be so changed?
Chelsea wants to change the story so it shows Mr. Pendleton in the gunlight, but the boss says no. What's stopping her from changing it in her own post or doing it online, you know? But actually, we don't get time to think about doing secret or whatnot. She actually just quits. Chelsea tells the kids that the permit for the place has been rejected and now Greenwood Park is not going to get the help it needs. She also says that she quit and Baskin Robbins 31 flavors, wash it down with some Fuller's coffee. Chelsea asks her coworker to sneak the report to the papers and she agrees. Clementine, however, is thinking about leaving because everything is going to shit and her home is still fucked over. To try and cheer everyone up, they decide to do their own little tree decorating, and where better to do it than at the Greenwood Park. Also, fake snow. God damn it, Hallmark, why can't you guys get real ones? You have real snow on the ground. Why does it have to be fake snow? Slowly, however, things change. People slowly begin to come ever so closer, some singing, while others trudging through the snow. The four have smiles on their faces that fade as they soon realize the North Pole is more fucked than before. And thanks to Clementine not being able to save it in time, the townspeople have lost their Christmas spirit, and instead have been overtaken by darkness that is now plaguing the town. Clementine looks to the others as she realizes that Santa was not really Santa at all. No, the fat jelly man that once was has now been losing his fat self and has been living on Coke products for years, and now only Satan resides. Or something like that. I don't know. I kind of tuned out after Mr. Wilson threw tinsel on the tree. So Chelsea's story has made it big and got the town's attention as everyone decorates the giant tree, and that also means the North Pole is saved for this year. Anyway, I hope, I actually don't know. Oh yeah, and she flies on her sled back home. Is there a rule saying she couldn't be seen by anyone, actually? Considering that Clementine was not in trouble whenever Santa found out Kevin was a human at the North Pole, I'm gonna say these rules are very lenient.
Where's the mistletoe when you need it?
Could use your imagination. Got it right here.
Everything seems to be going well. Everyone's having a good time. Chelsea's boss asks her to come back and she agrees. Mr. Wilson and Chelsea kiss. Greenwood Park is saved along with the tree lighting, and the North Pole is saved. The end. Good. I like Clementine and Kevin. Both are very good at having a sense of wonder and wanting what's best for them, as well as Mr. Wilson and Chelsea, who are as well want the best and are doing their best to either get the truth or help others. I like how the North Pole looks. More like a town than just Santa's house, and the elves are just living in it or working inside. The Northern Lights being an issue is something that I liked, since it's not like, oh, the people don't care, or Santa's out of commission, or that the reindeer are, dead. I like how Kevin just does whatever he wants and can roam the North Pole like Clementine. Bad. There's a really weird tone of grooming / abducting in this story. I know it's supposed to be two people who are wanting to find where they belong, but finding each other and then finding a place to belong, but it doesn't start off that way. Santa and Mrs. aren't too upset that one of their big rules are broken and that a human is in the North Pole. They play it off as kind of like this: he's here. Okay, bye. There are no repercussions of sneaking out of the house or how Clementine assaulted someone. Another thing is that the point of pointed ears and round ears, which are a bigger deal than normal, where in Kevin's case, he could cover it up with musk or a hat, or he could have these fake Halloween pointed ears. And for Clementine, I refer to my rant I did earlier. The mom has a real issue with Kevin having a friend who is an elf. Maybe she works at the mall as an elf. Maybe she calls herself an elf. Why is this the second time that a Hallmark movie is racist? Also, what's worse than fake snow? Having it be in one shot, then not in the next shot. That's a crime in itself, and I'm gonna keep calling it out until someone gets it right. Also, I'm sure no one asked for this, but I actually have these Hallmark movies in order of best to bad. Or worse, whatever the fuck you want to call it. My Christmas Lover, North Pole, Hits for the Holidays, and Mingle all the way. Hooray! Who would have thought?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I actually have to work Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. No, really, I close Christmas Eve and I work a little bit on Christmas Day. Why? Movie theater. Probably when the next time you'll see me, I'll either be doing some gaming thing, finishing up the Make a Mermaid review, maybe do an Ocean Girl, maybe the Teen Titans Go thing. I got shit to do. So bye!